All right, what is up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Today is Monday, March 25th. I certainly had a really fun time last night, as some of you guys probably saw. Had a great time spending some time with some family. So, I just wanted to make a quick video this morning, guys. There's a lot of news that kind of broke this morning. Not surprising. I guess I was a little bit surprised with the timing, but not so surprising given that it was during the owners meeting down in Orlando, I think it is. So pretty awesome stuff. I think that there was some comments and there was some things that were said from Sean Payton specifically that were really interesting, right? And that really the guy, if you kind of looked at him in the past, he'll always drop a little bit of hints, or he'll always kind of give you a little bit of information without trying to, if you just kind of read through the tea leaves. So certainly want to get into that. But firstly, what we're talking about today is the Broncos have officially announced. I know we talked about this a lot on my channel, but they've officially announced that there's new threats coming, or AKA new uniforms for the season. So not surprised that they did it exactly a month before the draft is about to start. I think that they'll probably release them a week before the draft or a couple days prior, because you do want to showcase them to the draft picks that you ultimately choose. So super excited to see what those look like, man. I got some ideas, doing a lot of deep digging and seeing some stuff. And it looks like they're going to try to mix in some of the 5280. They're going to try to mix in a little bit of the Rocky Mountains somewhere, with the theme. And I want to give credit to Tim Contic, who's a graphic designer. I follow him on Twitter. He's an awesome follow. He's hilarious, and he's always putting some different design stuff together related to the Broncos. So certainly give him a follow if you have not already. It's just at Tim Contic. Last name is spelled Contic, and you'll see it here actually. So I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of what it is that he put together, and something that really based off of the information that we've heard, I think it's going to be very similar to this. So for those of you who do not know, the Broncos are going to come out with an alternate jersey that is going to be very resemblance of the early 90s and 80s Broncos with the D, the lighter royal blue, and I think it looks very similar to how they used to look. It just has a little bit of a modern twist. So I'll pull up some things that I had seen here, but this one I think is probably the closest thing that we can expect for these new jerseys. I think we will have an alternate color in a navy as well available. I don't think there's going to be much changes to the Broncos logo, the helmet itself. So I think that that's going to resemble really well with kind of what it is that we have. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with the white helmets that they were released last year. Some rumors say they're going to continue using them, others not, as maybe like a third alternate, but I don't really know what the jersey rules are. But if you look at these, men, I love these. These are probably been my favorite of all the ones that I've seen, just because I think that they're a modern change, but they're not too crazy, too drastic, that some teams can do to where it just looks cheesier after a couple years. They look played out. Really simple. I like the touch of the Rocky Mountain sleeve on the side. I think that it doesn't look overly cheesy, but it's cool and it makes it look really, really unique. And I love the fact that there's no stripe along the jersey. So that means that we can mix and match different jerseys with the different pant colors. I'm a big fan of it, man. And I think maybe some of those he's saying that this modernized D logo on the hip, something like that might be on there. I think it could be. I think it could also just have like 5280 written on there, just very simple along the side. But huge fan of them. I think that a blue colored pant as well is something that's expected. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm big on these uniforms. I think that the Broncos have needed new uniforms for a long time. But I'm surprised that it seems like about half of Broncos country is probably mixed on this. There's a lot of them that really like the current uniforms that we have. I personally don't like them. I'd like for us to make the home color to go back to the blue. The navy blue is the home, and obviously the all whites is the road, and then have the orange be one that we wear just a couple times a year, because I don't know, I just have a bad taste in my mouth after the Super Bowl 48 loss, all those losses in the Super Bowls in the 80s and 90s. Uh, it just seems like the worst losses that we've had as Broncos country have been in those in a an orange jersey. So love to know what you guys think. Feel free to write down in the comment section your thoughts on these, but I think that they're pretty damn clean. So excited about those, and we'll see when they end up ultimately releasing them. Couple things. One of the things that I had seen Sean Payton had said in the conference this morning, he was talking a lot about, I think Ian Rappaport had asked him, did you, is moving up a possibility for the Broncos? And he flat out said it, and I believe him. He said, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a possibility. Obviously, it's going to cost a lot, so they're looking at all the options. But I've said this a lot before, guys. I think that if Sean Payton has identified somebody that he loves, he will move heaven and earth to go up and get him. And I think that you should. And I think that there's got to be that unanimous, a decision top down, so that you can really build around it and do everything that revolves around developing the quarterback the right way and giving him the best situation. So I think if one of those quarterbacks does drop, or maybe if Drake May is available at 4, or maybe New England is open for business, then I think the Broncos will at least look in all possibilities of how to do it. Now, they are kind of behind the 8 ball. They have a lot less draft capital than teams like the Vikings and teams like the Raiders behind us, really than most teams. But we do have something, we've talked about this a lot. We do have something that other teams don't, and that's PS2. And I think that he will be dealt if needed to. Are they actively doing it? No. Is he the last? Is offering him as a part of the trade the last resort? I would say no. I think that the Broncos are a lot more willing to trade him and save those future first-round picks than to just give him a first-round pick in 2025 and a second in 2025 and then probably even a first in 26. I don't know if they want to do that with the drafts. I don't think we're at a roster construction standpoint where we can really afford that. Even if that, and I mean, if it means that you're getting your franchise quarterback without a doubt, then obviously you do it, but you still don't know that. So you have to really weigh out your options. So we'll see what happens there. I think that there's a lot of possibility. I think everything's out on the table, and just like the rest of Broncos country, I'm just excited to find out. So we got exactly a month until the NFL draft. So excited about that, which I think is really, really cool. Another thing that he had talked about that he revealed to the team was the Broncos did not go to the Michigan Pro Day. I think the only ones at the front office that were accounted for there were GM George Payton and the offensive line coach, Zach Strief. They were there. But I always say, don't be surprised. The guys are probably going to have private workouts for these guys. Well, it was revealed today the Broncos worked out J.J. McCarthy the next day, the day after his pro day. I'm not sure where it was. I'm assuming it was probably in Michigan, but we'll see. And they met with him for close to 5 hours. That's big time. That's big time. And what's really going to be important with this is, have they done that with others as well? Are they doing that with Jaden Daniels? Are they doing that with Drake May? Are they doing that with Bo Nix? Or was this specifically with JJ? Because that could be really telling. Now, there's always smoke around this. Sometimes they might have met with all the quarterbacks, but he's only going to reveal that they met with JJ McCarthy just to kind of keep everybody else guessing, because it is kind of like playing chess and checkers, right? But that was big news. That was big news, and I think that it shows a lot about not only their due diligence and their commitment, but they are going to go, they're not going to leave any stone unturned when it comes to trying to find this next quarterback. So super excited to see what comes out from that. I'm personally a big JJ McCarthy fan, but I've kind of started to like Bo Nix a little bit more in terms of a fit. But we'll see. There's a lot of hype around this. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens there for sure. And just looking at some of the different verbiage that he's using. And he talked about what do these meetings look like? What do you want to see from the prospect? And he had talked about giving them a lot of information in advance, like 5 p.m. the night before, and seeing, okay, how much of this can they retain? How prepared do they come to these meetings? They had them throw again in front of them. So really being able to see everything from the throw, how they look, throwing motion, how they retain this information, what goes on in their brain, what's their processing look like. It's pretty outstanding stuff, and it seemed like that they were damn thorough. So not surprised by that, but certainly something that it's great to see and great to hear about, regardless of if they end up taking a quarterback in round 1 or not. I think that at that point you'll be able to say, okay, at least they got every single bit of information that they needed to be able to take it next level. So super pumped about it. Another thing that came out from this NFL owners was the vote to ban the hip drop tackle. this is one of those quirky things that the NFL kind of tends to piss me off with sometimes. They put player safety, or they use the excuse of player safety, but then the actions show things that are different or hypocritical. This is one of those where it's tough. Can you teach somebody to not hip drop tackle? Obviously, this is going to have a huge benefit for the offense, and it's going to have a big disadvantage for the defense. But we're just going to have to go ahead and see what comes from this, right? If anything. So I guess it'll be interesting to find that out. And I think that I get it. The NFL definitely wants to set up rules that benefit the offense because they like points, and points were much lower this past season, or I think the last couple of years. So this might help. I do get it. I mean, the hip drop tackle is a very dangerous play, but it's one of those where if you look at how many times has it happened versus how many times has it caused an injury, I'm sure that the data is low. And is this something that you can teach players to not do, right? That's what I'm curious about. So I'm sure we'll hear more, but all of the comments and the feedback that I'm hearing back from it is kind of, it's pretty mixed. So I'll interested to see, defensive players that have actually played defense to see what they think about this for sure. And then it looks like there's a couple other rules changes as well. But Detroit came out and they voted to protect the club's ability to challenge a third ruling following one successful challenge. So I got to read that again. So I guess I guess now teams get three challenges instead of two, and if they get one of them, if they end up, sorry, I'm just gonna read it to protect. Yeah, so they can now challenge it three times instead of getting another challenge back. So if a team challenges a play and they end up getting that challenge right, they still have three challenges, is what it looks like. So that's cool. I feel like you should challenge it. You should be able to challenge anything, to be honest with you. Another one, the competition committee, they allowed for enforcement of a major foul. This is the first time I'm reading this, by the way, guys. So sorry, bear with me here. It allows for an enforcement of a major foul by the offense prior to a change of possession in a situation where there are fouls by both teams. Huh. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit more. But that the way that they've verbalized that's a little bit weird. And then obviously the third one that they had passed was the hip drop one. So that one was the big league news of the day. But just something to kind of bring to your attention there. Otherwise, Damani Leach, the president of the Broncos, he had talked about when in regards to the new uniforms, he had said, same colors and same logo, but it's a full redesign. So it's not like going to be one of those things where we have this new logo, which I was really worried about because I really love the Broncos logo. I think it's timeless. I think it's clean. And a new logo is one of those things that you could easily screw up, and that could be really, really bad. So I like the fact that they kept that. The color scheme obviously makes sense with the blue and orange. Never been a fan of our orange. This new orange, this kind of neon orange. I don't know, but also I get it. It's just a part of who we are. I don't think it's something that we should ever change. And if we ever get back to those days where we have playoff games, man, seeing the whole stadium in orange is pretty damn cool. So, but I certainly don't think it's one of those things that we need to keep it as the home uniform full time. But as more of an alternate, I think you kind of appreciate it a little bit more too. So that's another thing in regards to that. Otherwise, some big news coming out, and I think after these owners meetings, there's going to be a lot more rumors that are coming out, or a lot more signings. Another thing that Sean Payton had talked about was they're being very diligent and very strategic with their with the free agents that they're signing, which I think obviously makes sense, but they really want to make sure that it's very specific roles. And he did mention we're probably going to look a little bit more in the D line. And safety was a priority for them, so that's why they ended up getting Brandon Jones. But they love the D lineman signing, and I think that they're going to probably sign a couple more, and then we'll see what else comes from it. So anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all joining with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. And if you're here in the Denver area, stay safe, stay warm. But yeah, y'all have a great day, man. And like, comment, subscribe, and would love to, like I say, get some interaction on the channel so we can get some fresh content and some fresh blood in here as well. So appreciate it, guys. Mile high salute to you as always, and peace out.